Today I would like to talk a little bit about Palestine and the Jews. Jews in Arabic, of course, are Al-Yahud. Palestine, now they call it Israel. The original country is Palestine since those days. The Jews, they suffered a lot in the old days, and then they did not even have a place or country to live. They were living in Europe, but they did not suffer in the Muslim world those days. When they were living with the Muslims, they were treated nicely. They were not punished. They were not they were not treated as inhumane. They were treated nicely in the Muslim world. But when they left to Europe, 6 million died. They were burned. And then, by the protection of the Muslims, they left Europe. And now, after all those things happened from the Western, they granted the Jews Palestine, which is Israel now. Who grant them is the Britain grant them Israel and other countries. But the question we have to ask, what does Britain have the right to grant them others country? Because Palestine is not, it doesn't belong to Britain or any other country in this world. So what right do they have to give someone else's country to someone else? It's not fair. How can we cope with that? Beside other, whatever they suffered, that's another issue. It does not concern taking someone else's country. Why did it not give a country where they were suffered? They suffered in Europe. Why did it not give them a city or a small town for them to live? Why they pushed them away from Europe and asked them to take one other country which does not belong to Europe? The Jews suffered in Europe, but they were given an Arabic in the Middle East, which is an Arabian country, which is Palestine, which does not belong to any party in Europe, does not belong to Britain or any other countries. And that's the question: what Britain has the right to grant Palestine to the Jews? From where they got the right? How about if now I'm, for example, Malaysian, I want to grant Singapore to the African, ask the African to come and stay in Singapore. What right do I have to grant Singapore to any African people? I don't have the right. Same like this. What does Britain have the right to grant Palestine to the Jews? They do not have the right. It doesn't belong to them. Why they did not give an island from Britain? Why, for example, Ireland is an island there in North Britain. Why they didn't give it to the Jews? Why they didn't give any other place in Europe to the Jews? Why choose this? Because this doesn't belong to them. It doesn't concern them. They do not care. And until now, how many millions of the Muslims in Palestine suffered because of this? Because someone else gives someone else another country and then leave them there and having war. That's the only question all the Muslims want to ask. And even the Jewish are confused. Some of them even left Israel. They do not want to live in a war zone. Some of them living in US, some of them living still in Germany, some of them living in Britain. They don't want to go there. Why you want to give us a place and still there is war over there? What is the use? But when they do like that, they just want to push all the Jews from Europe or from any other place in this world and put them over there because they dislike them. That's the reality. They do not like the Jews, especially the European. That's the fact. Why they push them away? Why they suffered in Europe? Why they were burned? All these are signs. They are not welcome over there. That's why they go choose another place which is outside Europe and put them over there, so become away from Europe. Otherwise, they can just give any space in Europe and they can live over there. There must be a reason they put them over there. But they did not have the right also to put them over there. Why they didn't choose a place where there is nobody live in that place and then give it to them and they can stay over there in peace? Even the Jews will never suffer. Now they're still suffering. Not only the Muslims are dying, some of the Jews also still dying. That's the only question I want to put. Wallahu a'lam.